significant here in this Budweiser tail of the tape is Eddie Chambers coming in, who's been averaging right around 208 pounds his last 3 fights at a very light 202. And Tomasz actually moving up about 7 pounds above his average for this fight.
Physically, these guys are very much on the same level. The huge thing that jumps out at me, a 23-pound weight advantage for Tomasz Adamek. Chambers way lower than he's used to. Adamek a little higher than he's used to.
No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. The fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. And the fight is official after 4 rounds. It is scheduled for 12, the IBF North American heavyweight title. Let's go to ring announcer Joe Antonacci.
Boxing fans, here we go. NBC Sports Network's Fight Night, sponsored by GoDaddy.com, presents our main event of the evening. Our main event brought to you by Main Events, Peltz Boxing, Ziggy Promotions in association with Goose and Tudor Promotions. Our main event, 12 rounds for the IBF North American Heavyweight Championship. Our main event judges, Joe Pasquale, Alan Rubenstein, Steve Weisfeld, and our main event referee, Benji Estevez. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He comes to us tonight from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at 202 pounds. Black trunks, green trim, professional record 36 victories. Only 2 defeats, 18 wins by way of knockout. Please welcome Fast Eddie Chambers. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He comes to us originally from Gilovica, Poland. Now living in Kearney, New Jersey, he weighed in at 225 pounds. Black trunks, orange trim, professional record 45 victories, only 2 defeats, 28 wins by knockout. Please welcome Tomasz Adamek.
Let's get him out.
Our referee, Benji Estevez, has our fighters' final instruction.
Tomasz, Eddie, I expect a nice professional, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch him up, may the best man win.
12 rounds for the IBF North American Heavyweight Championship.
Eddie Chambers, 30 years old, at the fighter meeting yesterday, talked about wanting to re-establish himself here with U.S. fight fans that maybe haven't seen him fight in a while.
That's exactly what he needs to do tonight. He needs to come out early and start fast against Adamek. You can see right now with his left hand down, he's going to look to counter that jab with the right hand.
Adamek in the black with the orange, Chambers in the black with the green, scheduled for 12 rounds. IBF North American heavyweight title.
You see the speed of Eddie, already picking that jab to the body, turning the shoulders right there, making Adamek miss with the right hand, very elusive with his upper body. I'm saying right now, Eddie looks very good at this weight, Kenny.
Let's check in with Chris. Nice right there by Eddie Chambers. Thanks, Chris.
Guys, in the aftermath of Eddie Chambers' 2010 knockout loss to Vladimir Klitschko, he had to be hospitalized with what German doctors determined was an irregular heartbeat. Now, it was determined that it wasn't serious, but it rattled Chambers enough that he chose to stay out of the ring for nearly a year to recover. He has only fought once, as we said, since then, but he says he's completely healthy right now and ready for what he calls the most important fight of his career.
All right, thanks, Chris. Chambers losing to Vladimir. Adamek losing to Vitali, the Klitschko brothers. Both those guys had their title shot there. They're hoping with this IBF North American title, it continues to move them up in the ranks. Both men ranked in the top 10 in the IBF.
So far, I really like what I see out of Eddie Chambers. His range, his defense. He's landed a couple good shots on Tomasz already. Tomasz hasn't really touched him with anything. Clear first round for Chambers so far. And, you know, Adamek's definitely got to figure some things out between the first and second round.
When we talked to Chambers, he kept going back to one fight, all the films he's watched. That was in '07 when Chad Dawson took the light heavyweight title of Adamek. He talked about fighting with balance and really boxing and being able to get in close. He cited that 2 or 3 times yesterday in our conversations.
He did. He sure did. And he's got so much balance, Kenny. If you look at him, he's so controlled with his punches. He taunts, he feints, and he really just, you know, he gets into range and out of range very fast. He's having a great first round.
You'll hear the cheers throughout it. It's almost like going to a college pep rally, the following that Adamek has here.
It is, and Eddie's calmed them down a little bit with a very good first round. They're not quite as loud as they normally are at an Adamek fight. And Thomas is a little apprehensive here. He's not quite sure how to get into range and land those hard punches like he normally can.
Round 1 underway now, over, scheduled for 12 rounds. Chambers with a very solid first round. Here on what he says, even though he's from Philadelphia, feels like he's definitely in foreign territory coming in here with the Adamek fan club. Thousands cheering for their hero tonight. And there you look at Tomasz Adamek. 7-1 as a heavyweight, 2 wins by knockout in the heavyweight ranks. Let's check in with Chris.
Guys, one of the reasons we're not in one of our usual intimate venues is because Tomasz Adamek has too many fans for those venues. Adamek has been fighting here in Newark since 2008, regularly drawing crowds, about 7,000 of the mostly high pro Polish community nearby. Now, these fans are here, and they are rowdy. In 2008, for a fight with Steve Cunningham, they literally drank the building out of beer.
All right, thanks, Chris. I believe Chris is the only person over there not wearing red and white. There's very few in this crowd not wearing red and white. Round 2 underway.
Nice counter right hand by Chambers right there. And once again, I just see it. Tomasz is apprehensive with his punches because Eddie made him miss in the first round. Reminiscent of what his nickname is, Fast Eddie Chambers. He's living definitely true to that moniker right now.
We see your scorecard. You give the first round to Chambers, the man in the black and green stripe. Adamek in the black with the orange.
I don't think there was any doubt about it in the first round who that could have possibly went to. Eddie landed the only meaningful punches in the round, and Adamek swung and missed. Nice counter right hand by Eddie. Right hand again by Chambers. He's just so fast, and heavyweights aren't used to seeing that type of hand speed. He's definitely got Adamek's attention so far through 2 rounds.
Well, Adamek, we heard backstage in the interview with Chris, his camp saying they didn't really train with anyone as light as the 202-pound Chambers. And Fast Eddie faster on the punches so far.
It's not just that he's fast, though, Kenny. His timing is so good. He's able to counter so well. It's tough to find a guy out there like Eddie Chambers. So, you know, in Thomas's defense, it would have been very tough to find a sparring partner to replicate an Eddie Chambers type of effort.
And you can see him reaching out, trying to measure him right now with those jabs. That's what he's thrown most on Adamek in his last few fights.
The reason for that is simple. He can't find Eddie Chambers. Good right hand again by Chambers, right on the money. Adamek is having a lot of troubles with this style of Chambers. If this fight continues at this way, it's going to be a very one-sided fight through 10 rounds. Good right hand by Adamek. Still Chambers caught it on the gloves.
Round two. Coming near the end here. IBF North American Heavyweight Championship.
Thank you. Good. And right hand, let's put those every once in a while, if you get close enough.
And welcome back as we get ready for round three. Tomasz Adamek
Okay?
in his corner, trying for his 46th victory, taking on Eddie Chambers. We look at action from round two.
And that's really the best action Tomasz really had in that round, and there wasn't really anything to see there. You know, Eddie blocking punches, and you know, Eddie landed a lot of clean punches himself in that second round. So beautiful head move by Chambers right there.
It's scheduled for 12 rounds. IBF North American Heavyweight title. We're in round three. Adamek is in the black with the orange. Fast Eddie Chambers in the black with the green.
And you see Chambers' experience here. You see he's been in with the big guys. He's able to use his attributes to set up his punches.
And able to stay away from those jabs as we look at the punch count there in that last round. Let's check in with Chris.
James, it looked like Eddie got hurt somewhere in the last round. What happened?
In the last round, I think he might have got a little steroid in the first round. You know, pulled a little, shocked his arm, pulled his arm out a little bit, but he's all right now.
What do you like about what you see out there?
I like the way he's boxing, smooth and cool. You know, for a guy that's been out for a year and a half, he's pretty cool. He's doing his job, he's boxing.
Thanks, James. Guys.
All right, Chris. And he is boxing very well here in the early going of this championship fight.
Very well. And you see in the second round, he landed more than double of the punches that Adamek landed. And, you know, ring rust so far hasn't been an issue. Nice hook. Nice right hand by Chambers. Nice hook by Adamek.
Tomasz throwing his best combination so far.
And Eddie right there was showing the crowd, listen, he's going to back me up, and I'm going to back him right back up. And he's showing he's in the fight.
Adamek really reaching out literally and measuring that, kind of holding on, pushing away with his left hand.
He's almost put his jab away completely because he hasn't had success. Good right hand, left hook by them. Very nice.
And there's a nice right by Eddie Chambers off those jabs. And Chambers switching up his style, going to southpaw sometimes.
And we see the elusiveness of Chambers. He just got caught with a good shot. He switched it up, and he put a little pressure on Tomasz. Nice right hand in the body by Eddie. Nice right hand. Nice overhand right.
Strong overhand right by Eddie Chambers. And the crowd trying to get behind Adamek.
Eddie's timing right now, Kenny, is just so good. Tomasz can't land any clean punches. He's pushing Eddie back with those punches, but he can't land the clean ones like Eddie is. And it's very obvious. Another big right hand by Chambers.
Chambers a much quicker fighter here in round three. As he slips that right and then throws one of his own. 5 Final seconds, round 3, IBF North American heavyweight title fight.
Great round for Chambers. Once again, I feel like those were Adamek's almost best moments of the round, and still, you know, Eddie blocked those punches.
Going to round 4, scheduled for 12. Adamek is in the black with the orange. Chambers in the black with the green stripes. How do you score it so far, BJ, through 3?
I got it 3 rounds to 0. Pretty obvious. Eddie's landed the more punches and the harder punches in each round. Tomas is trying. He's trying to come in and shoot the punches, but he can't find the range. And Eddie's defense and timing has got him very confused right now, Kenny.
See BJ's scorecard. Let's check in with Chris.
Guys, James Ali Bashir is downplaying that injury to Eddie Chambers, but Chambers is hurt. After that last round, Chambers pulled Bashir close and told him he hurt his left arm. Bashir came out of the corner and told someone in the crowd he tore or pulled a muscle in that left arm.
All right, we will keep an eye on that left as Adamek delivers a nice punch there. The crowd responds in a small smile from Chambers.
Chambers is smiling to let him know, listen, that punch didn't affect me. And, you know, Chambers is a fighter about mind games. He's trying to let Tomas know, listen, everything you do, or anything you do, isn't going to knock me off my pedestal tonight. And with that being said, Adamek is still shooting very good punches. In his left hand, to me, to be honest with you, he's still using it, but his right hand has been his main weapon so far, countering the left jab of Tomasz Adamek.
We've seen him switch his style over to southpaw, back and forth at times.
That defense is amazing. I've never seen a heavyweight that's so elusive. I've never seen that before.
And look at the right there, almost like a slam-type jab that he's throwing as he goes back to orthodox now.
See him talking to Adamek right there. Nice right hand by Adamek. And then Chambers makes sure he comes right back.
That was his best punch of this round for Tomasz Adamek. Eddie Chambers has been very smooth throughout this fight. As we heard Chris report from the corner, keep an eye on that left arm. Maybe he has hurt it. He has switched up his style a little bit since the last couple of rounds.
He has. He came out initially with his left hand down, and I said it. He's going to look, nice right hand by Adamek. He's going to look to counter the Adamek jab with his own right hand. He's had a lot of success with that through 3 rounds so far. Nice right hand by Chambers.
Chambers coming off the biggest layoff of his career in 1 year and 126 days. Final seconds of round 4. Live at the corner of Eddie Chambers, the 30-year-old from Philadelphia, 36-2 in his career. Fighting tonight for the IBF North American Heavyweight Championship against Tomasz Adamek.
Seconds out, let's go.
As we take a look at action in the last round.
Nice straight right hand by Chambers. Another follow-up right hand. The second right hand wasn't as hard, but he's just showing that he's got Tomas in his range. Whenever he wants to hit him, he can. Another good 4th round for Eddie Chambers.
Round 5 is scheduled for 12 IBF North American heavyweight title. Tomasz Adamek in the black with the orange, in the black with the green, Eddie Chambers. Chambers again with the right. Now again, we heard from Chris Mannix's report. The corner concerned a little bit about that left arm of Eddie Chambers. Has he pulled a muscle, perhaps? Let's check in now with Chris in the other corner.
Roger, what are you seeing out there right now?
Eddie's quick, but he's only throwing 1 punch at a time. He landed, I think, 2 or 3 right hands. I think Thomas has been a little bit quicker, a little more accurate. He's catching Eddie with punches, so if he keeps doing the same thing, he'll decision. Eddie's a quick fighter, though, but we'll see what happens when it gets a little deeper.
Thanks, Roger. Guys.
All right, that's the corner of Adamek. How did you score the last round, BJ?
I couldn't disagree with Roger more. I think Eddie's landing the cleaner punches. I think Tomas in this round is doing better, but I just don't think he's landing the cleaner punches like Eddie Chambers is. He's been aggressive, but it's been very ineffective aggression. And Chambers has landed more in every single round so far.
40-36 on your scorecard after 4 rounds, all for Eddie Chambers. Adamek trying to get more use out of those jabs. That's been his strong point in his most recent fights. And again, it's the right of Chambers. And it's really interesting to watch him now, that left arm kind of focusing on that. How much has he done some damage? Because everything now is a little unorthodox with that right hand.
It is, but it seems like that's all he needs tonight, Kenny, is that right hand to beat Adamek at this point.
It's working, isn't it?
He's got his timing with the Adamek jab. Adamek is now kind of pushing the jab a little bit because he's leery of the Chambers right hands. And, you know, he's getting good work when Eddie just holds his hands up and doesn't counter, because Eddie will handcuff himself, and he can't be offensive when his hands are up like that. And when Eddie counters, he's very effective, and he's made Adamek pay many times through 5 rounds.
And you see he will go unorthodox, conventional, back and forth, and almost like a slap jab with that right at times. Adamek trying to come back here in this round. Chambers again looking the quicker fighter.
And I think at this point in the fight, Adamek is shooting everything. He's hitting Eddie's elbows and gloves a little bit, but he's not used to shooting everything and having a guy still walk in front of him like Chambers is doing. It's a very different kind of fight. And that's why I thought when Roger Bloodworth said, listen, we haven't brought the smaller guys in, I thought that was a mistake.
Round 5 coming to an end, scheduled for 12. IBF North American heavyweight title on the line.
How you feeling? All right, that's good. See,
Live at the Presidential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Eddie Chambers, strong first round. Let's take a look at the man there, especially the left arm, BJ.
He shoots a check left hook right there. He looks down at his arm, which is a big mistake, letting his opponent know how he got injured.
And in round 5, you see using the right more. We've seen that the last 2 rounds. We heard a report from the corner. He's injured perhaps his left arm, maybe strained a muscle. We don't know for sure the extent of it, but he has changed his fighting style. Chambers in the black with the green stripes, Adamek in the black with the orange. Round 6 scheduled for 12, IBF North American heavyweight title fight.
I feel like Adamek had his best round of the fight last round. I actually gave it to him 10-9. He was the busier fighter. Good right hand, good hook by Adamek. Eddie's got to get off, and he can't be handcuffed in that defense whenever Adamek is punching and piling up the points.
He's trying to get those jabs going. That was the strength of Tomasz Adamek in his last few fights, was to set things up with his jab. That was a nice right.
Nice right hand by Adamek again. And Chambers has got to be careful. He boxed very nice in the first 5 rounds. Adamek probably has won at least 1, maybe 2 of those rounds, but Chambers is definitely up, and he's got to make sure that Adamek doesn't even the gap in these middle rounds. He's walking him down here, and these punches aren't doing a lot of damage, and he's got to make sure that he still remembers to be offensive.
And you wonder, when was the last effective jab by Eddie Chambers? We haven't seen that with that left arm. He's actually switched over and done more with his right at times.
He hasn't needed it, and sometimes just he's sticking with what's working. You can't blame him for that. He's been effective with that right hand. Great defense by Chambers here in the 6th round. Got to stay offensive though. Can't let Tomasz pile up the points.
Interesting, you'll hear in the crowd those from Poland, the Polish heritage, Tomasz Adamek, they will cheer. And the Americans, it's Tomasz Adamek. They will cheer as he basically is a man with two homes now. From Poland, based here in New Jersey for several years. And a big crowd for Adamek for the Polish fans and Adamek for those here in New Jersey.
I'm just going to start saying Tomasz.
And again, there's the right of Eddie Chambers. We've seen him be effective with that. Not quite what you would draw up on a chalkboard, but it's working.
He's definitely landed the harder punches this round. But, you know, Adamek has really outworked him in this round. Eddie hasn't been offensive enough, and for that, he's losing the round on my scorecard. But there's no question he lands the cleaner punches.
Adamek getting more of his jabs in here. Final seconds of round 6. We are approaching the halfway point now in the IBF North American Heavyweight Championship fight. Adamek and Chambers very active in that round. Tomasz Adamek, that last round.
A big breath.
You think he won, BJ?
Yeah, I gave it to him, you know, based on the fact that he was busier, he outworked Eddie. He didn't land a lot of clean punches, but he was coming forward, he was shooting punches, and he was the busier of the two, and still landed more at the end of the first two.
He threw 83 and landed 11, but Chambers slowing down a bit, only 26 thrown, 8 landed in that round. And remember, Chambers talked about the punch count being very important coming into this fight. As we go into round 7, Chambers in the black with the green, Adamek in the black with the orange.
Punch count's very important, and when I talked to him earlier, he said, you know what, Adamek, nice right here by Chambers.
Overhand right by Eddie Chambers. And the right may be what he has to keep relying on. Again, we're not sure about the extent of damage to his left arm. Perhaps he's pulled a muscle. He has not been that effective throwing jabs like we saw earlier in the fight. It's mostly the right hand as we saw there. Let's check in again with Chris.
Guys, I'm very pleased Eddie Chambers corner off that last round. They were telling him he looks good, keep walking him down. They want him to stay aggressive, keep that head movement going. And one thing for sure, don't stop throwing.
And that he keeps doing here in round 7.
I think overall in the fight, through 6 rounds, his corner's got to be very pleased with the last round. Eddie wasn't quite busy enough to get the round on my scorecard. He has come out much more aggressive in the 7th round, and he's winning this round so far, in my opinion. Based on his clean right hands that he's landed throughout this round in his aggression, effective aggression. Another good right hand by Chambers.
Blocking that jab of Adamek, who has not been as effective with his jabs. Now tries to come with a combination.
Good right hand by Adamek a second ago. A nice right hand to the body by Chambers. I'd love to see him come back with that left hook.
And there you see again, Chambers goes to the southpaw stance, flicks out that right. Now it becomes the jab.
I can't remember the last time I've ever seen a heavyweight fight with this type of style. When Adamek stepped on his foot there, it wasn't so much from the punch, he stepped on his foot, but just the elusiveness that Chambers has, even when he's not offensive, it's still amazing to me, a guy of his size, to be so elusive.
Adamek trying to work the body.
Another big right hand by Chambers.
Chambers, the right is about all he has, it appears.
Again, right there, he can't miss with that punch, Kenny. Again, he's feeling very confident right now, and with good reason.
That's all he needs right now. He's not setting it up with the conventional jab.
And what he's doing is he's making Adamek miss. After he makes him miss, Adamek's a little bit off balance, and he's hitting him with that little short right, making him pay. Landed a lot of big ones. Another good round for Chambers.
Adamek continues to be on the back panel. Eddie Chambers continues to be aggressive in this round. inside Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey. Close quarters that last round. Adamek and Chambers, as you look at the Eddie Chambers corner, they're feeling confident right now, but let's look at that last round, BJ.
Here you see Adamek pushing a nice right hand, a little shoulder bump there, but really no effective punches. And now we see here Adamek stepping on his foot, landing a right hand, kind of a pushing right hand, but once again, Eddie Chambers' defense always in position.
Round 8 is scheduled for 12 IBF North American heavyweight title. Tomasz Adamek in the black with orange, Eddie Chambers in the black with green. And Chambers averaging just 10 jabs thrown per round now. He had 10 in that last round in his power throws. And again, it goes back to, as Chris Mannix reported from the corner, some kind of injury to the left arm, left shoulder area of Chambers. We're not sure the extent yet, but it has changed his style. As you see him use what would have been a straight right more as a jab.
And once again, he did outland Adamek 10-6 in that last round. And not to mention, he did land the cleaner harder punches of the two fighters.
Yes, even fighting with the right hand. As you see a confident fast Eddie right now, he continues to be able to get that punch in.
And you see him there taunting the fans of Adamek. He even chanted Adamek himself to show him, you know, showing that he's not intimidated by this, the 10,000 Adamek fans that are here tonight.
And you see the blood in the nose area now. As the cheers of Adamek go up all over this arena. 7 of his last fights have been here. But more bleeding from that nose, and Chambers is able to stick that punch whenever he wants that right, it appears.
He can't miss. Adamek's got to work right there. Eddie's right in front of him, and that's a nice right hook by Eddie. That's the best chance for Adamek to get back in this fight. He's got to work when he's got Chambers against the ropes. Nice right hand by Adamek, nice counter right hook by Eddie Chambers.
Chambers doing a good job blocking that jab tonight.
I've seen Eddie Chambers fight on TV. I haven't been live to too many of his fights, but I'm gonna have to say I don't think I've ever seen him look better as far as making a guy miss and creating offense off of those misses. He's done a little bit of both tonight, and he's doing a really good job tonight.
This after a 1-year, 126-day layoff, longest of his career. How would he come back? Well, he's come back strong, and we've seen a right that's turned into a jab, a straight right, and a hook. Anytime he wants to throw it.
He's been very effective tonight. He's almost marginally getting outworked in this round. He has landed the cleaner punches like that right hand you see right there, but Thomas is doing some good work, but Eddie's blocking most of it.
Adamek getting the cheers, trying to put a combination together as he just did. And there again is Chambers flicking out that right hand.
Close round.
A close round indeed.
Take a deep breath. Get a double jab and put your punches together. We're gonna go home early, baby. Keep it working. Take a deep breath.
As you work on the busted nose of Tomasz Adamek. Round 7, it was close quarters with Chambers and Adamek just like this. Stepping on the foot, Chambers is tripped. Now round 8. And again, stepping on the foot, Chambers staggered a bit only from that, not from any punches. We go to round 9. It's scheduled for 12 IBF North American heavyweight title. And a good right by the man in the black trunks with the green stripes. That's fast Eddie Chambers.
Again, he did it twice already in this first round. He's just so fast. It just doesn't seem like he can miss Tomas off of that jab when he's countering with his right hand. It's a beautiful shot. Never see heavyweights do it again right there.
Chambers coming in here weighing the light weight of 202. Almost he came in here looking more, as you said yesterday, as we look at BJ's scorecard. Last round you gave to Adamek. But Chambers, you said, looked like a light heavyweight when he first walked in the ring.
Yeah, he absolutely did. And, you know, the reason is he's pulling off moves that Floyd Mayweather does. He does that pull counter where he slips that jab and lands the right hand. You never see fighters consistently land that because you don't have the speed and the reflexes, and Eddie Chambers has shown that he has both. He's got to continue to be offensive and continue to work to be able to win this fight, though, in Tomasz Adamek's hometown.
A swing and a miss as Chambers is able to continue to elude the punching power of Adamek from any big punches, and meanwhile he continues to counter.
And we see a little bit here, Eddie starting to walk Tomasz back. And I'm not going to say Tomasz is wearing him down, but he is starting to change his game plan and feeling some of the effects of fast Eddie's punches. Nice combination by Adamek. Good body shot. Nice double jab right hand. And he got the range with the right hand because he doubled up the jab, found Eddie, and then dropped the solid right hand. Great combination.
And his win over Aguilera, a decision here on the NBC Sports Network Fight Night. That was Adamek's strong point, was setting things up with that jab. Let's check in with Chris.
BJ, like you said, is a visibly tired Tomasz Adamek in between rounds in his corner. Now his trainer, Roger Bloodworth, wants him to throw more combinations. Jab, double jab, straight left hand. When Chambers goes southpaw, Bloodworth said, step away from him and throw that left hand right over the top.
30 seconds in round 9. Chambers continues to fight a little different style, perhaps. Again, not sure the extent of what the injury is to his left shoulder, but he's doing it well with his right hand.
He's doing well. And Thomas has really picked up the tempo in this last half of this round. He's outworked Eddie a lot. Eddie landed clean punches, but Thomas is busy with that.
Adamek with a strong round.
I'm hoping that I could be home right now.
Don't push me off, okay? You push me off. Let's go.
And we're back. IBF North American Heavyweight title on the line. It is scheduled for 12 rounds. We're in round 10. Tomasz Adamek in the black with the orange, and Eddie Chambers the black with the green. How did you score that round, BJ?
Very, very close round, but I gave it to Adamek based on the fact that it was so close and he outworked Eddie. He landed 15-13. Eddie landed the cleaner punches, but Tomasz just outworked him a little bit. I've got it 5 rounds for Chambers, 4 rounds for Adamek so far.
Chambers, that last round, landed 13 of 37 power punches. Adamek much more active in throwing. He threw 87, landed 15, and has been picking up steam in the last 3 or 4 rounds.
He has. Eddie just hasn't been quite active enough, but to be honest with you, the 2 rounds that I gave Adamek, 8 and 9, were both very close and easily could have went to Chambers. They were only a punch or 2 apart in the punch stat numbers. And you see Eddie Chambers coming out and dominating the first minute and 20 seconds of this round. Another good, clean right hand by Chambers.
And 2 good body shots by Adamek. And Chambers again with the right.
Nice short right hook. We saw Adamek sit right in front of him. He shot a jab. Nice right hand by Chambers again. Kenny, I think Adamek is in a little bit of trouble right here. He's been getting hit with a lot of punches, and his body language in this round hasn't been quite as good as other rounds. He's backing up harder. Chambers is coming forward harder, and he's having more success with his right hand. I think Adamek needs to grab the momentum and turn it immediately, otherwise he's going to get whitewashed in these last 2 rounds.
And BJ, as you mentioned earlier on in this round, it was Chambers that came out with 2 really hard punches on Adamek.
It was, and you know, Kenny, we're going into the championship rounds now, what is considered rounds 10, 11, and 12. Chambers has been there a lot of times against high-level opposition, and he's really shown his experience in his class right now. Winning these last 3 rounds will make it with no doubt that Eddie Chambers is the winner of tonight's fight, and I don't think he's ready to leave it for chance. Really looking sharp in his 10th round.
Chambers again, longest layoff of his career, but he certainly hasn't looked that way tonight. Well over a year since he last fought, but he is strong here in round 10.
Beautiful counter right hands. He made Tomas pay the entire 10th round. Tomas has got to change it up if he wants to be competitive in these last 2 rounds.
Chambers changing the momentum. Fight Night on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Domains, websites, and everything. Fight Night on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Domains, websites, and everything in between. And the red and white cheering for Tomasz Adamek. Can he win for the 46th time and take the IBF North American heavyweight title against Eddie Chambers? And after that last round, Chambers in the black with the green, Adamek in the black with the orange. How did you score it, BJ Flores?
Easily 10-9, almost a 10-8 if it would have been a knockdown, but Chambers landed a fight-high 17 power punches in that last round. Very effective, landed whenever he wanted, and completely dominated Adamek in that 10th round.
And according to CompuBox, not only landed 17, he threw 37, his most active round so far in this fight. This in round 10, as we now move on to 11. And again, we go back to the layoff. That was the big question. How would Chambers be after a 1-year, 126-day layoff against a veteran fighter who's had 3 fights while Chambers was on the sideline with first a back injury and then rib injury?
And you know what? He's fighting very well. Timing wasn't an issue like I thought it would be because of his experience, and he proved that in the first 2 rounds.
Let's check in again with Chris.
Guys, how do we know this is a close fight? Because both corners are showing urgency in between these last couple rounds. Chambers' corner says he needs these last 2 rounds. Adamek's corner says the exact same thing. Adamek's cornerman Roger Bloodworth is begging Adamek to throw that jab out there a little more often.
The problem with Adamek throwing that jab out there more often is he'll continue to get countered with the Eddie Chambers right hand. What he really needs to do is taunt and feint the jab to get Eddie off balance a little bit so Eddie can't tee off every single time he shoots it, because there hasn't been enough taunting and feinting tonight, and Eddie's got his timing down.
And Chambers, we believe from reports from the corner, somewhere along this fight, early in the fight, he has an injury to his left shoulder, his left arm, maybe a strain, maybe a pulled muscle, we don't know. Obviously, he changed his fighting style and has gone with rights just like that one throughout the majority of this fight.
Yeah, he hasn't even needed to use his left hook. He's landed the right hand. I'm sure we'll hear more about it after the fight, but to be honest with you, he hasn't really needed it. He's landed the right hand, and Tomas hasn't made the necessary adjustments. And Eddie, like a true pro, is going to keep landing it until proven otherwise. Both guys being aggressive here, both guys boxing smart. Once again, it's just a difference of Eddie Chambers' defense and Eddie Chambers' right hand. In my opinion, if Eddie Chambers wins this round, then Tomasz Adamek needs a knockout to win this fight.
Both corners, we can hear them. Both corners saying finish strong. Going back to what we heard from Chris's report. Both corners feeling this is a very close fight. Final seconds of round 11. Adamek and Chambers going to the final round of the championship fight.
but not by much. You let him steal a couple rounds there. You need this round. Keep him backing up with that jab hand. Every time you stop, he throws a right hand over it. Okay? So if you're going to stop, get out of there. It's the last round.
Try to put him down with that right hand this time. Touch him around the body with the bolo first, fake the right hand, then fake the jab, then go over the top with the right hand. Win this round. Big. Dog him. I don't care what I'm dogging. Come on, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Both corners with the same advice. Win this round as we take a look at the last round.
What we see there is more of the same. You know, highlights of Tomasz Adamek are simply him hitting the gloves of Eddie Chambers. Not a lot of clean punching, but he is still working, and it was a close round. I did, however, give the round to Chambers. And in my opinion, Adamek needs a knockout to win this fight.
Adamek as they cheer for Tomasz in the black with the orange. Chambers the black with the green. This is the 12th and final round of IBF North American Heavyweight Championship. Tomasz Adamek has made his home here in New Jersey. Thousands of his fans are here at the Prudential Center tonight. According to BJ Flores right now, it is a close fight, but you have Eddie Chambers in the lead.
I've got him in the lead based solely on the fact that he's landed more punches than Adamek in every single round that I've given him. And he's tied. He was tied with the total punches landed in the rounds that I even gave to Adamek. So he's just landed the far cleaner punches throughout the fight. Adamek has been very busy, but Eddie Chambers has been more effective in my opinion.
Adamek winning 17 times by decision. Chambers 18 times by decision.
Adamek is doing some very good work in this round. He's working. Eddie's not busy enough. His corner told him to finish strong and lead this round. He's coming forward, but he's not bringing the offense with it, and that might cost him. Good right hand by Chambers.
Again, Chambers sliding in the right. Somewhere we believe early in this fight he pulled a muscle, did something to his left shoulder. We haven't seen hardly any of the jabs there. He's been doing it all with his right hand throughout the vast majority of this fight. Pretty incredible for a guy coming off a year-plus later.
Look at him walking down the much bigger Adamek. He's walking him down, he's pushing him back, he's landing right hands, and he's doing the things necessary to win this fight. He's not letting Adamek push him around the ring and use his size as an advantage. A tribute to Eddie Chambers' defense.
To go in the championship fight.
Nice right hand to the body by Adamek.
And Adamek with the right. Chambers has blocked a lot of jabs throughout this fight. Chambers strong early. Adamek had some big rounds in the middle. And both corners with great advice to their fighters. Win this round, and we think it's that close.
And Adamek is the one who's really came out and shown the urgency in this 12th round. Eddie Chambers has not let his hands go enough in this final round, and he's relying on the previous rounds to get in the ring. Might be a big mistake. The 12th round is very important in a fight this close, even though I have Chambers ahead.
Adamek number 4 in the world in the IBF rankings. Chambers number 8 in the IBF rankings. Adamek trying to close strong. Chambers back with the right, and it goes the distance. Two veterans, 85 fights between them, only 4 losses in their careers. Adamek and Chambers. And in that last round, Adamek being very aggressive, throwing 106 as we take a look at our Budweiser total punches. And you see for the fight, much more aggressive was Adamek. And Chambers landing more punches. So how do you score that last round?
I gave it to Adamek 10-9. Even winning that last round, I still have Chambers ahead 115-113. Take into consideration at least a round or 2 of those close ones I did give to Adamek. So I'm trying to take into consideration the home field advantage here, fighting at the Prudential Center. I I could see Chambers winning a close decision or possibly a 114 draw because we are fighting in the Prudential Center.
As the band plays, the crowd cheers. It was like a college football atmosphere or something throughout most of this evening, with the red and white clad crowd. Some from Poland, Polish descent, some that have met Tomasz Adamek since he's moved here and made his home in New Jersey. And they all cheer throughout this fight. He closed out with the urgency of throwing 106 punches. He landed 16 in that last round. Chambers in his corner. Eddie Chambers coming off a 1-year, 126-day layoff, the longest in his career because of injuries. And maybe he did something to his left arm because he did change up his style, but his right hand was very effective from being a jab to a hook, whatever he needed it to be.
Yeah, he might have injured the left arm tonight, but I still had him doing enough with the right hand to win the majority of the rounds. And that's what boxing is. You scored on a round-by-round criteria, 10-point must system. Doesn't matter who did better throughout the course of the fight. You score each round individually, and at the end of the day, I have 7 rounds to 5 for Eddie Chambers. Great performance by him, and a good performance by Tomasz Adamek as well. He had a very tricky, tough guy in front of him tonight, and you know, he continued to fight on.
The judges have reached their decision. Let's go to Joe Antonacci with the verdict.
Boxing fans, after 12 rounds of action for the IBF North American Heavyweight Championship, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Steve Weisfeld scores the bout 116 to 112. Judge Joe Pasquale agrees 116-112. Judge Alan Rubenstein scores the bout 119 to 109. All for your winner and new IBF North American Heavyweight Champion from Gilowice, Poland, Tomasz Adamek.
Tomasz Adamek, winner by unanimous decision. He is the IBF North American Heavyweight Champion. The former cruiserweight and light heavyweight champ has a belt around his waist again, ranked number 4 in the IBF standings. No doubt will move back up. What a performance tonight for Eddie Chambers. Coming off a 1-year, 126-day layoff, the longest in his career, perhaps hurting his arm. We'll try to find out more on that, as he had to rely on his right hand throughout this fight. But Tomasz Adamek is the winner by unanimous decision. He has the belt, and he is with Chris.
Tomasz, you fought a smaller fighter for the first time in a while. Was it difficult adjusting to his style?
Yeah, it was difficult. Chambers, Eddie is quick. He was quick. That was very tough fight.
When the fight was over, did you think you had done enough to win that fight?
You know, the fight was close. I felt, but I don't know which compare for me or for Eddie. But I win. Thank you for everybody.
You said your goal ultimately is to have another heavyweight title shot. Do you feel like you've earned one right now?
You know, now I have to come back to the gym and training hard next year.
Thanks, Tomasz.
Thank you.
Guys?
All right. A popular decision here before this crowd of 10,000 at the Prudential Center, and most wearing the red and white colors of Poland and cheering for Tomasz Adamek throughout this night.
You gotta get the camera down.
Let's go to Chris now with Eddie Chambers.
Eddie, you were fighting a difficult opponent, but it looked like you got hurt in the first round. What happened?
I think I tore a fucking bicep or something. It's very frustrating. You know, I worked so hard for this fight, man. And I thought I did okay, but I wasn't sure at the end. And if you're not sure at the end, and it's in the hands of the judges, what can you do?
Thanks, Eddie. Guys.
All right, Chris. Eddie Chambers there saying he may have torn a bicep, certainly had injured his left arm, and fought most of this fight with one arm against a veteran like Adamek, who gets the unanimous decision and is the new IBF North American Heavyweight Champ. Surprising to you, perhaps, BJ, but a strong fight.
Shocking, and the judge who scored at 119 to 109 should never be allowed to judge again.
Strong statement. Remember, Fight Night returns to NBC Sports Network September the 21st. Be sure to join us then. Tonight, Jennings wins the championship.